Defending your child is one thing, but authorities say one Region 8 man went too far when he stepped in to protect his daughter. Now, one child has a broken arm. Plus, voice-activated popcorn kernels on command. Get the lowdown on the Popinator and how it works. I'm Craig Rickert. Region 8 News at 10 starts now.
Live and high definition. Always tracking. Always watching. Always on. This is Region 8 News at 10.
I fell and my wrist popped.
That little boy's mom says a doctor confirmed that pop he heard was a break. He is one of 3 Riverside Elementary third graders who were, according to police, trapped in a classroom with a man trying to avenge his daughter. Brandy Hunter has the news now since 6.
Mary Turner took her son Izzy to a doctor today instead of his class at Riverside Elementary in Caraway.
He hit me in the back or whatever, and I fell and my wrist popped.
The 9-year-old is talking about this man, 47-year-old Michael Staten. A Craighead County District Court judge charged him with 3 counts of second-degree battery, 3 counts of false imprisonment, and 1 count of terroristic threatening.
We notified the parents of the children that were directly involved.
A 3rd-grade classroom is where Riverside Public Schools Superintendent Tommy Knight says Staten racked up all the felony charges Tuesday afternoon, going after a student he believes went after his daughter.
What I've been told is that he felt like one of those children had been mean to his daughter and began to chase him around the room. Another kid was knocked over, another kid was kicked, this kid was caught and hands put around his throat.
Superintendent Knight says Staten ate lunch with his daughter, and at some point during the transition from lunch back to class, Izzy told Caraway police the man trapped 3 third graders in a class.
He finally got a hold of and then he choked him, pulled him by the ears, and then he went over after and kicked him in the leg.
Mary thinks school administrators waited too long to contact her about the incident.
I'm just trying to figure out why they waited 2 hours to call me and let me know my kid was hurt.
We did that as soon as we notified the police, and the police took statements, and then we contacted the parents.
Superintendent Knight says administrators are reevaluating the protocol for allowing students and visitors in and out of the buildings and possibly hiring a school resource officer. They want to make sure an incident like this never happens again.
Kind of scary.
In Caraway, Brandy Hunter, Region 8 News.
Knight says the teacher for that class was headed to the room from the other end of the building when that incident happened. Staten is in custody on $100,000 bond. Police say it is likely he will face additional charges. New at 10, issues between the Butler County Sheriff's Department and Emergency Management came to a head today as Sheriff Mark Dobbs called for the change, and Emergency Management Director Rick Schleiger defended his position.
Again, it's a one-man show.
According to Butler County Sheriff Mark Dobbs, emergency management in his county consists of a one-man operation with no disaster plan.
People's lives that are at stake.
And rarely a proactive response.
There's never been one conversation about ice storms, about floods, or anything.
Director Rick Schleiger says this is more about politics than how he runs his office.
I'm not even welcome in your office.
I wonder why, Rick.
Well, we want to see change. There's been a broken trust, a broken working relationship.
Private citizens also voiced concerns.
Fix this and fix it immediately.
Differences stem from concerns about faulty storm sirens and storm spotters and surge crews who say Schleiger once let them go.
If you're going to have volunteers, they've got to be led, obviously, and they've got to be willing to follow.
They now refuse to work under Schleiger.
I can understand why you would not want to be under my umbrella. You don't trust me. And to be honest with you, particularly in light of what's been quoted in the Daily American Republic as late as yesterday, I'm not sure I would be able to trust you either.
Schleiger defended his position, saying he has the liability of the people to protect. He says he's never had a complaint. Schleiger did not want to go on camera, but he did say in an email in part, "What we see here is a classic example of small-town politics at its worst. The series of articles attacking me on the front page of the newspaper is nothing more than retaliation against me for supporting Ed Strenfel as sheriff of Butler County against the incumbent." Also new at 10 tonight, Marion police need your help finding a bank robber. Police say around 1 this afternoon, a man robbed the Regions Bank in Marion and got away with an undisclosed amount of money. Police say he was wearing a dark-colored shirt and baseball cap. If you have any information on this case, you are asked to call Marion Police. It is one of the most contaminated cities in America, and it's right here in Arkansas. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, the site of the former Cedar Chemical Corporation in Helena, West Helena, is filled with dangerous contaminants. The company filed bankruptcy in 2002. Unable to collect from Cedar Chemical, the EPA says they will go after any company that brought chemicals to that former plant to be processed. New details tonight regarding a lawsuit that is trying to block more casinos from coming to the state of Arkansas. Attorneys for Nancy Todd called the lawsuit challenging her a thinly veiled attempt to throw another obstacle in the path of her ballot measure. The state asked the court to dismiss the lawsuit filed by the Arkansas Racing Alliance. The Alliance's lawsuit challenges the legitimacy of signatures submitted with Todd's proposal and the language of that proposal. The man accused of making a bomb threat against the ASU campus made his first court appearance today. Carlin Walker learned he faces several charges, including a felony count of communicating a false alarm. University Police Chief Randy Martin says the school recently prepared for an incident like that one happened on Tuesday after several colleges investigated bomb threats on their campuses.
We feel like we're always prepared, but in light of those situations that have occurred over the past week or two, we've been using our roll call and shift briefings as opportunities to review our policies and procedures on bomb threats.
Walker is being held in lieu of $200,000 bond and will appear in court again in October. University police actually banned Walker from campus earlier this week after he was arrested for criminal trespassing.
And a few things that we're tracking this evening: comfortable temperatures and a quiet night. Right now we've got temperatures that are very comfortable across Region 8, but that's not only what we're watching. If you notice, temperatures across Region 8 are falling into the 50s and 60s. We're at 58 in Hardy, 66 in Paragould, 60 in Blytheville. Satellite and radar shows that we are cloud free across the state. Just a few little clouds that move through the southern parts of Missouri, but that's been about it. We are expecting a quiet night, going down to 52 degrees with a nice clear sky and a light southwest wind at 3 to 7. But what's next? If you notice off to the northwest, you see the clouds coming in from Canada down through parts of Nebraska and the Dakotas. That is our next storm system that's pushing down to the south. That could give us a few clouds, maybe an isolated shower. I'll tell you when that could happen in your 7-day forecast.
In tonight's Consumer Watch, parents, there are concerns that there are high levels of mercury in your kids' tuna fish sandwiches. That's according to research by the Mercury Policy Project, a consumer advocacy group. The group says while white tuna can triple a child's mercury exposure, they recommend schools and parents not serve it. Consumer Reports says rice and rice products might contain worrisome levels of arsenic, a chemical known to cause cancer. An average serving of rice does contain 5 micrograms of inorganic arsenic. That amount is equal to 2 grains of sand, but is relatively low when compared to other foods. Dr. Shane Spites with St. Bernard says there are no acute risks linked with rice consumption in the U.S. He adds that arsenic is found in a wide variety of foods.
Remember, arsenic is naturally occurring. We find it throughout. And so obviously, as with anything, you don't want too much of something, you don't want too little of something, but we really need to kind of wait for the data to go through and tease out, are these really concerning levels or not?
Dr. Spites says the numbers might appear to be staggering, but it is also possible to have an arsenic deficiency. Arsenic is actually considered an ultra-trace supplement. Our first Teacher of the Month this school year was nominated last year, but her story is so good we thought she deserved recognition this year. Ms. Darla McClung is a second-grade teacher at Alma Spikes Elementary. She's been teaching for 29 years in Pocahontas and doesn't plan to stop anytime soon. McClung says she was encouraged by her teachers at Noble High School before it consolidated, and she hopes to give that same encouragement to her students.
Let's say they come in your classroom and maybe they've never even seen the alphabet. You have another child coming in and they're reading 3rd and 4th grade material. And that's the art of being a teacher.
McClung also gives a lot of credit for her success to her assistant, who has worked with her for nearly 18 years. You can read more about Ms. McClung's story on our website at KAIT8.com. And a quick announcement: Missouri State University West Plains is hosting its annual Ozark Symposium this week. The 3-day conference starts tomorrow and will focus on topics like the impact of cultural and geographic isolation on Ozark residents. Admission to this event is free. For some of you, you might have had started your working life as a paper boy or paper girl. Coming up on Region 8 News at 10, meet a woman who never gave up her first job despite her age. But first, Mitt Romney says he is for 100% of Americans, despite what his opponents say about a videotape and what it might have shown.
Region 8 News at 10 is sponsored by Kavanaugh Kia and Sissy's Log Cabin.